I just wish more of us knew that you do not have to feel ashamed for any of your feelings. No matter who you are, it's imperative for you to understand that your feelings are not something that makes you weak. Your feelings does not mean that you are inadequate. Your feelings don't mean something's wrong with you. If you've ever been shamed for your feelings, I'm here to let you know that it wasn't okay for that to happen. Everybody's feelings are valid. If you ever grew up hearing anything that made you feel like something was wrong with you for feeling a certain way, or it was inappropriate, or that it could result into danger, like there's consequences for feeling certain emotions, then as you move through life, you may have learned to just keep it to yourself, internalize it, and act as if, you know, nothing's wrong, everything's okay. You don't want people to see you weak. You don't want people to see you sweat. And I do think that that's a good thing. You know, not everybody needs to know everything. I'm very big on privacy. I'm very big on only sharing things with people that you trust. But I just want to emphasize that your feelings were never wrong, they were never invalid, and it's okay to feel emotions such as frustration. It's okay to be annoyed. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel regret sometimes. It's okay to feel bad sometimes. It really is okay. The point that I wanted to hone in is that you want to feel it so that it can be released. You don't want to keep living it for long periods of time. Like, you don't want to spend months or years in the same emotional state. You want to feel it so that you can let it go. Oftentimes when we've learned that our feelings are inappropriate and we try to stuff them down, or we try to dismiss them so that we don't cause a disturbance in other people's worlds, the emotion doesn't go anywhere. The feeling doesn't go anywhere. It gets stuffed down, but it's still there. And more likely than not, it will come out at an inopportune time or an inappropriate time. Like, you might feel a huge emotional response to something that might be considered minute or not a big deal, but it's because everything has been stuffed down for so long, you didn't allow yourself time to process and release. So now it's there and it's releasing, because trust me, it's going to come out. It's going to come out at some point, because it cannot just be stuffed down and not tended to for too long. You gotta deal with yourself. You gotta deal with your emotions. Your feelings, they are nothing to be ashamed of, but they are not an excuse for you to mistreat other people. Your feelings are just, it's data for you. It's an indicator for you to pay attention to yourself. Hey, maybe a boundary was crossed and your body's letting you know. You're feeling a sensation to pay attention. And I want you to also understand too that whenever you feel something, most of the time it's because of something you're thinking about. Whenever you have an emotional response in your body, for example, anger, frustration, annoyance, whatever, it's because of something that you are focused on, something you're thinking about. That's why we feel things. That's what I mean by it's an indicator for you to pay attention. For example, let's say right now you're thinking about something hilarious that happened and you get this feeling of happiness and joy and you're just cracking up about it. Now let's say you have a thought about a memory that was hurtful, and now all of a sudden you're taken back to that place, you feel hot inside, you're getting angry, frustrated, now you're going on and on about what you should have said, what you could have done, how you should have did this, how you should have did that, how that person wronged you. That's because you're thinking about it, you're focused on it, and those feelings are coming up to let you know, hey, what you're thinking about is causing this response within you, it's time to tend to that. And so I'm not a licensed professional or anything, but I do know that there are ways to deal with anger and frustration in a healthy way. There's ways to cope versus acting out and making things worse for you and everyone else. An eye for an eye, it never works. We know this. Your job is to tend to your feelings, deal with your boundaries, deal with whatever's coming up within you in a healthy way, and get through it. You have to process your feelings. You have to learn how to deal with them and release them. And the reason why I'm emphasizing you is because you gotta learn that your feelings are yours. They're coming up within your body. They're coming up for you to deal with. Yes, something may have triggered this, like something outside of you, a circumstance, a person may have triggered those feelings, but you gotta own your feelings. I feel this way because this happened. It's not, oh, you made me feel this way. No, it's I feel this way because this happened. When you own your feelings, now you gotta own what you do with them. And you gotta be responsible and accountable for how you choose to proceed with those feelings. Your feelings are not an excuse for you to be destructive. It's just not. And it's not okay. It's really not okay. For example, let's say I feel hurt by somebody, and now everybody around me has to pay. I'm hurting. So now if you come in my vicinity, if you come across my path, you have to pay too because I'm hurting. No, my hurt has nothing to do with the next person. That doesn't give me the right to go and do something to you because of what I feel. This is what I feel. This is mine. I gotta deal with this. I gotta own this. I'm not saying that a person, place, or thing isn't the root trigger of why these feelings are coming up, but now that they're coming up, they're yours to deal with, and it sucks. It took me a while to learn this because there was so many times I'm like, this ain't right. So I gotta deal with this. So I gotta deal with my frustration. No, they should deal with frustration. No, they are going about their lives. They are not even thinking twice. And so why should you carry all this anger and irritability and frustration for long periods of time because you want this other person to pay? No, those feelings came up within you. You got to deal with them and you move on. You learn the lesson. And I would only hope that you were self-aware enough to know that what hurt you, you do not want that to hurt other people. Sometimes when things happen to you or you go through something, it's not always your fault. And you do end up with the pain from certain situations. But it's just not an excuse to treat people poorly or to treat yourself poorly. It's not. And another thing I want to emphasize is feelings come and go. If you really allow yourself to process your feelings in a healthy way, they go away. There's a book that I read. It's called Not Nice, and I talked about this in like one of my first videos, but he talks about how to deal with your emotions. He's a therapist and he goes through things himself. So he has kids, he's married, and one of the things he said that he does that has helped him deal with himself so that he doesn't take his anger out on his kids or his wife is whenever he feels himself getting emotionally riled up or overstimulated, whatever, he takes some time away. When he feels himself angry, he takes some space. He might go in his car where no one's around and he just might scream. Just get it out. Get all that stuff out. Just scream it away. Because the energy's in your body. So you're screaming so that it's just released and it's getting out and it's not affecting anybody else. There was also another one where I seen a video, this other therapist was saying how she recommends that in her sessions with her clients, she has pillows in there. So whenever they do feel these moments of intense anger from thinking about something or focusing on a memory that hasn't been processed and it's bringing up those feelings again, she encourages them to take a few minutes and just punch the pillow. Punch that pillow. Punch, punch, punch. This is why people also encourage working out or taking kickboxing, things like that, where you're releasing the anger in a healthy way without being destructive to yourself or other people. You're just releasing it. You're letting it go. And that's why I think it's important for us to have this type of information. All of us are gonna feel every single emotion. We're all gonna be sad sometimes, mad sometimes, happy, all of those things, but you don't need to be ashamed for any of it. You don't need to do that. If somebody is doing that to you, it's because your feelings are making them uncomfortable and they want you to stop. So they're gonna do whatever they can to get you to stop feeling like however you feel so that they can feel comfortable. But that's not fair to you. It's not fair to you at all. You are allowed to feel however you wanna feel whenever you need to feel it, but you have to understand that those feelings are yours and you are responsible for how you deal with that. You have to learn how to deal with yourself in a healthy way so that you can maintain your self-respect and you'll be proud of yourself for handling things in a way that is not destructive. You will be proud of yourself. And let's say you have gone through incidents where you may have been destructive. That's okay too, as long as you learn from it and you know, okay, I didn't like that. I'm not gonna repeat that. We all make choices that we're probably not proud of. We've all felt things and reacted in ways that we're not proud of. I have. There's things that I've reacted to that I'm not proud of. I'm like, okay, I learned the lesson. I'm not gonna do that again. You don't know unless you learn. You don't know what you don't know. We don't need to be shaming each other, shaming ourselves, guilting each other, guilting ourselves. Not everybody's gonna know how to validate your feelings. And unfortunately, it isn't always everybody's job to do that. If you have people in your life who do that, that's amazing, that's wonderful, and I can only hope you reciprocate that. But people cannot tell you how you're supposed to feel, and they shouldn't try to stop you from feeling certain things. I recently learned that if I'm gonna listen to somebody's feelings and listen to their point of view and their perspective, I'm gonna listen and not try to fix. I'm just gonna be the space to support, listen here. If you ask for advice or if you would like my opinion, I will share it, but I'm not fixing nothing because everybody has to go through what they need to go through. Everybody has to feel what they need to feel, and everybody has a right to feel that. And if people try to rush your process, don't let that happen. You take as long as you need to take to get through what you need to get through, but please get through it. Please release it and let it go on your own time. But it's only gonna benefit you to let these feelings come up, process them, acknowledge them, release them. Do what you need to do. Learn ways to deal with yourself and deal with your feelings, and live your best life, period. I hope this video was helpful. I just want you to know, please don't feel bad about how you process life, and just please know though that you are responsible for you. I'm sending you so much love this week, and leave a comment if anything that I said resonated. I'll see you in the next video.